Great rising. Okay, today is October 13th, Great Rising. And this is another collective message for the tribe. Hope you guys are doing good this morning. So I got my book out this morning. So, hi, Miss Taylor, Great Rising. So what I heard while sitting here contemplating was work your magic. So 10:13, work your magic. And we're going to see how spirit leads with that message, okay? So today I'm going to be using the Starseed Oracle deck, Chakra Love deck, and the Psychic Tarot for the Heart again. This one is a newer deck. I use this today. It's like a crystal deck, just like the one that I usually use, but it doesn't have like, an explanation. It does have short little phrases, so we're just going to pull a few of those. And then I'll pull some financial messages. This is not going to be super long, but this is going to be much needed. Okay, I dropped my pen, but I have more. So let's start off with the Chakra Love. And I like this deck. It says, raise your crystal vibrations. These tell you which chakras to work on, and it tells you which crystals to use. Hey, Leslie. Let me bring that music down. Sounds like it's a little bit too loud. Okay. Hey, Shamika. Oh, Bamika. Sorry. Hi, baby. Okay. Thankful for you guys. So we're going to start off with some deep breaths. And, like I usually say, these are going to be deep belly breaths. And this is just to kind of get you relaxed, get you centered. So how you do a deep belly breath is you inhale, and I usually inhale through my nose. Inhale, take a really deep breath in. Okay, but as you're inhaling, you should be feeling your stomach inflate like a balloon. Hold it for a couple of seconds, and then you exhale. And I like to hear my breath coming out through the mouth. And then as you exhale, you feel your stomach kind of retracting and going in. Okay, so let's do 3 big belly breaths on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So first message is that there are signs. We have throat chakra, and the stone is lepidolite. You remember lepidolite from the other day? Lepidolite is here. So if you connected to any of the stones that I spoke of throughout the week and last week, you know that lepidolite was one of the stones that came out. And Spirit says signs. There will always be signs to guide you on your true path. That is your first message. There will always be signs. Hey, Bianca. How are you, baby? Always be signs. So know that wherever you go, whatever you're going through, that you are being guided on your true path. Bottom of the deck says calmness. And this is the crown chakra. And the stone is rainbow moonstone. And it says to calm your monkey mind, do not feed the animal. I'm going to pull one more. So we have throat. Ooh, another throat and one more and a heart. And Spirit says listening. Okay. And it says, if you want to be heard, learn to listen. It says, Larimar is the stone. And then we have heart chakra. Green ocean jasper says connection. Father divine and Mother Earth make love in your heart. Okay. So signs. Okay. So I'm going to fix this. This is a puzzle. So listening, signs. Let me see. I feel like the message is calm your monkey mind, listen to the signs so that you can be connected. Okay. And I'm sorry, this is not the throat chakra, but this is the third eye chakra. So we have crown chakra is going to, so basically Spirit is asking you to calm your mind, right? Your crown chakra, stay calm so that you can be, your crown chakra could open. And then it says with your throat chakra, you need to listen, right? And with your third eye, pay attention to the signs, and with your heart, get connected. Okay. So those are the chakra messages. So crown, throat alignment, third eye alignment, heart. Of course, the heart comes first, then the throat, then the third eye, then the crown chakra. So we don't have any of the base lower chakras. Why? Because this is about being in the highest frequency. Um, so there's a chart that I saw a few weeks ago, maybe several weeks ago, where a young gentleman was showing different frequencies, and he started at the base chakra. And there's nothing wrong with the base chakra or solar plexus or the base chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus, but these are higher chakras. These are, as you can see, the heart is the first energy here. And the heart chakra and moving up is going to keep you in that higher energy once you align these, right? Because a lot of us operate more in the ego, the root, the ego, when the root is not balanced, we always feel insecure. We don't feel safe. When the sacral chakra is not balanced, we don't want to open up. We don't know how to express ourselves. We don't let people get close. And then when the solar plexus is not balanced, we operate from ego. So Spirit is saying, stay in the higher, work on these higher chakras, work on the heart so you can stay connected, work on the throat, work on the third eye, and work on the crown chakra, okay? So let's see what Spirit wants to tell us this morning. We're going to start off with the Psychic Tarot for the heart. Now this will tie to love messages, okay? Good morning. Great rising. Great rising. Okay, no problem. Leslie, great rising. Give me a message for the collective consciousness today. So he was talking about the difference between 3D, 4D, 5D, and he had like a chart with all the chakras, and then he had them separated between 3D, 4D, and 5D, right? And he was talking about how we are in 3D, mostly operating from the base and the sacral, and the solar plexus. And then he talked about we need to get connected to 4D, which would be our heart and our third eye, and our heart and our throat. And then he talked about the higher chakras, which was the third eye and the crown chakra being 5D energy. But just to kind of break down the different frequencies you could be in, depending on just where you're at in your own awareness. Hi, Key. Thank you for joining me this morning. All right, so Seven of Pentacles is our message from the Sacred Tarot from the heart, and then we have Base, and we have Open Up. Remember how I was saying that a lot of us are operating in the lower chakras, and look at what Spirit shows us. All this red, look at all this red. This is where you guys are now. You're kind of stuck in the not wanting to open up. So this is, you know, even though it's red, it still ties to the sacral because for me, when I look at the Four of Pentacles, I think about being closing off, not wanting to open up to people, not wanting to, not being able to receive and send love because you're just so closed up. Why? Because you don't feel safe. There's some insecurities. You don't feel grounded or stable. Again, do you see how all of these are reversed? So the first card that came out was the Seven of Pentacles. You know, a lack of patience, maybe. Um, the Seven of Pentacles for me is a card of reflection, reflecting on past mistakes, reflecting on the things that were. When I think about the Seven of Pentacles, I think about, you know, this card. I think about the roots. I think about the roots. She's great. Look at how she's planted into the earth. But it came in reverse, so I feel like you feel untethered. You're disconnected. And the heart chakra card says, Father Divine and Mother Earth make love in my heart. Think about what that statement means. There's a connection with the planet, right? In the higher realms, right? Father Divine, people would refer to that as like the sun energy, but it doesn't have to be. Um, we always talk about feminine being more dark energy, would be more of the darker polarity, but not in the sense that, when we talk about dark, we don't mean evil or anything, but it's more of a primordial energy. When we're just talking about the polar opposites, we know that one has a positive and one has a negative charge. And I talked about being a conduit. And I want you to understand that she is a conduit here because she's connected to Earth, and then here's the sun right behind her, and she's connected to both. She's becoming she's a conduit where the energies are going through her from her root chakra all the way to her crown, and she's receiving information from the divine from her crown all the way down to her root. Do you see how this works together in unison? But why is she in the reverse? Why is this card coming up in the reverse? Let's find out. We've been operating from what, self-preservation. What is the other term? Um, Survival, right? And a lot of us have been doing this because of a lack of money, and the Seven of Pentacles represents that. When it's in reverse, it represents that sometimes money issues, okay, can make us feel unstable, correct? So, I never suggested this before, but I do want you guys to take note of the cards that come out, or the stones, or the chakras that I mentioned, or the numbers. I think that if the information that I'm presenting may kind of connect to you on a different level. Some of you guys may pick up the colors that I mentioned, or the numerology, or some of you guys may pick up this, pick up some sort of message that's just for you based on the crystals that I may mention, just because you may have come across these messages already in your day to day life. You may have come across a certain stone that has just been calling out to you. You may have been researching crystals, and lo and behold, I mentioned a crystal. You're just like, wait a minute, I was just looking at that crystal. I was just reading up on that. So just pay attention, right? Because Spirit says signs, there will always be signs, right? So Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I'm making a note of it because I'm going to reflect on it later. Because I don't know about you guys, but I know what it feels like to feel insecure, especially when it comes to finances. Um, I've had ups and downs throughout my life. I've been, I feel like I've been in a position, in my adult life to be able to take care of myself to the best of my ability. And I'm very appreciative of that. But we know that that's not the case for everyone. I've had my struggles, but I've also had, um, you know, times in my life where I've been very stable, um, by my, and I'm not talking about, when it comes to what society sees as stable, but in as far as not being dependent on somebody to provide for you. I think that a lot of us are operating from a state of fear when it comes to um, being dependent or being unstable or being without, right? Especially when you have children too, it kind of amplifies that fear, right? The fear of, okay, I don't have enough money to pay this, I don't have enough to buy food, or stuff, stuff like that. Those type of experiences could really make you feel insecure, and it really can rock you at the base level, the root chakra, because this chakra is about being grounded. This chakra is about feeling secure and feeling stable, but it is coming up in the reverse. And then we also have this energy of opening up, which I'm going to, attribute to the sacral, even though it's not coming in as in a sacral chakra color scheme, which would be more of an orangey red or orange. I feel like, the sacral chakra has a lot to do with opening up and being able to connect, being able to receive and give, right? It is also the seed of your emotions. It's also how you express yourself. It's a very important chakra. I feel like there's a misalignment in the lower chakras that's preventing you from being able to stay up there, really work with the other chakras. We're always using them all, right? But there are imbalances that we need to acknowledge. What's up, Elle? Thank you for joining. And it's important for us to understand why these chakras are important. So, since we're talking about the base chakras and we have all the other chakras being listed here, I just want to say that today is a day that you really reflect on your chakra systems. It's so interesting because I woke up this morning and I know I'm a little bit behind. I woke up and then I kind of dozed off. That's why I'm a little late. And I could have came on live, but I like to do my morning routine and stuff. I don't like to just get up and sit at the computer. I have to kind of um, get my mind right first. And so as I was kind of contemplating on the message and taking my cards out, I just kept feeling like I need to talk about the chakras a little bit more, because I feel like it is important for us to understand what they are. I know you probably are wondering, what is a chakra? What is a chakra? If you don't know, these are energy points in your body. Okay, and the chakra um, kind of focus on certain energy centers. Their focal points, okay, or energy wheels. People use different terms for them, but the most popular term is chakra. It's a Sanskrit word, and it just means wheel or circle. Okay, but it's a focal point used in a variety of ancient meditation practices. Okay, especially when it comes to tantric practices, tantra. But it is about a belief, to where these chakras, which we always talk about the main seven ones. A lot of people don't talk about the other higher ones, but we talk about the main seven focal points. People believe that these chakras are responsible for keeping us in alignment. So some of you guys may have heard of the Indian names for the chakras, like Manipura, Malahadra, um, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Anjna, and Sahasrara. Um, um, I lost my train of thought. Well, okay. So the reason why I'm bringing the chakras up is because they're tied to major glands in your body. Like the third eye is tied to the pineal gland. There's major glands in your body that have major functions. Or and I said pineal or pineal. You know, you could pronounce it different ways, but that pineal gland. If you ever heard of the pineal gland, um, you know that they talk about it being calcified, and they talked about how people talk about how when it's calcified, it's hard for you to really have that open third eye. Okay, so these are tied to major glands in your body, and traditionally, or in Western um, traditions, or the Western chakra system. Okay, there's it talks about how um, many people kind of tie these chakras into um, psychological um, traits in people. Um, there's different concepts that are being studied based on your chakras, how you react. And I talk about this sometimes, right? Because I talk about how when your sacral is blocked, it causes you not to be able to be intimate with people or trust people. So I'm going to talk more about, like the basics of if a chakra is needing to be worked on, how is it affecting you on a physiological or psychological level? And the attributes, um, again, are towards the emotions, the state of consciousness. We know that the heart chakra, affects our emotions, especially when it's blocked, especially if you've been wounded. We know that sometimes people shutting you out, shutting you down, not validating your feelings can hinder your um, way you express yourself, can affect your throat chakra. I'm bringing all of this up to say this, that I want you guys to start thinking about yourself and thinking about like the things that you struggle with. Have trust issues? Do you have a hard time communicating? Do you have a hard time opening up? Are you closed off? Do you feel like you have closed off your emotions, or do you feel like your heart is closed off? Are you afraid of getting hurt? Do you sometimes feel a lot of insecurities? These things are things that I want you guys to think about and reflect on. And I want you guys to kind of research the different chakras and what happens when they become imbalanced. I'm not going to go through all of them tonight today. Hey Kia, but I do want to mention that it's important that we kind of are knowledgeable so that when you are going through different stages of your healing process, especially this shadow work stage, because shadow work stage is really important. I want you guys to have a knowledge of these different chakras and how you can work with the colors, work with certain sounds to raise the vibration, okay, and work with certain stones, because stones are part of like the Western modalities. That's why I brought up Western traditions, or a traditional view of chakra systems. Um, Eastern theology, or Eastern traditional way of working with the chakras is through meditation, and that is also the best way for me. I think meditation is one of the best ways to get an alignment, but you can also use other modalities such as sound, like binaural beats and meditation music. You could also use the colors and stones, okay, that are connected to these chakras as well. So I'm going to tell you guys about why I think the Seven of Pentacles is reversed for majority of us, because this is a collective about all of us. And then I'm going to talk about um, love, and I'm going to talk about business, finances, and career. And then I'm going to wrap it up because I'm not going to make this one super long today. So before I talk about this Seven of Pentacles, I want to talk about the base chakra. Seven of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. And it's important for you to understand that these are two pentacle cards. So this is leading me to conclude that, I don't even want to say conclude, but it is really kind of showing us that there has been some blocks when it comes to the physical realm, when it comes to physical things, tangible things, or what we perceive as valuable things to us. It is tied to how we make money, um, the lack of money, waiting on money or waiting on something to manifest that can yield you long-term rewards. This card could represent you working really hard on something and never feeling like you've gotten the recognition, or maybe put a lot of work into something and then didn't get the results you want. This card here is important because this is also reflecting back on mistakes, reflecting back on things, right? It's a looking back and doing a self assessment sometimes. The sevens are always about awakenings, reflection, and the seven is a very spiritual number. But this card is reversed because there is some sort of block between physicality and spirituality, between the um, difference between being in the world and of the world, right? It's kind of like there's two polar opposites where we're too stuck on earthly matters, we're too stuck on figuring things out when it comes to day-to-day life. I'm feeling Virgo energy, sixth house energy here too, even though I don't have the six being represented here, but I'm feeling a strong Virgo energy, Taurus energy, and of course Capricorn energy. So all the earth energies are here because it's about what you value, how you make your money, okay, what you do for work, status, your home, your physical home, and then your physical body, okay, is being represented here. So, but then Spirit is saying, but put your focus on the heart, okay, the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra, because your focus is too much on the physical world, and it's leaving you disconnected from the spiritual world or your spiritual connection to divine source consciousness. Okay, so just a few facts about the base chakra. The color is red. Okay, the sound is lam, lam, and the element is earth. The gland that it's connected to is the adrenal gland, and the key words is I have. And it's about what you have, okay? And that's why I said that there's a lot of this physical energy here, earth energy here, because what is earth, right? It's represented on this card. It is things we can touch, right? The trees, the earth, the actual ground we walk on, and the trees, and the materials that we use from nature to make our homes, right? Because nature, trees house animals, and lots of animals and lots of creatures. And then we as humans, we use materials from the earth to create houses, right? Like wood from trees and etc. So there's a very strong energy of earth, but Spirit is saying go higher, right? And there's nothing wrong with focusing on earthly material things, but there needs to be a balance between the two. Spirit says your focus is more on the base chakras, the lower chakras, but not enough focus on the higher ones, okay, or the other ones. So, per the book's definition about the base chakra, it says, known as the base or root chakra, this energy center is situated at the base of the spine and is most closely related to all of your earthly issues. Wow. Such as survival, mention that. The physical body, mention that. Issues of money, substance, safety, and shelter. Substance, money is tied to the second house, Taurus energy. Shelter, okay? Taurus. And then Virgo energy, which is the sixth house, is health. It's your physical body. It's your routines, your day-to-day routines. It really ties to physiological issues like connected to the mind, like because it's tied to Mercury. It's an earth energy, but um not only does it affect your physical body, but it could also show up in the sense where we we are affected in a physiological way because of certain routines, because of certain health issues, because of our environment, right? Everyone knows if you are in a stressful environment, you will be affected, right? Because you'll be stressed out, right? If you're in a toxic environment, it's going to affect you. And then, when we talk about Capricorn energy, this is work and status, stability, and maintaining um, 10th house energy, maintaining stability, it's reputation. It's a little bit more about surrounding possessions, and then also tied to family, right? Your home, your physical home. So this is interesting. It says physical movement strengthens the chakra. So the suggestion is, while you're working on these, to align the bottom chakras, the root chakra, the things that affect, you know, your physical body, your survival, your safety, your shelter, substance. Spirit says to work with this, you need to walk, dance, work in the garden. This means physically working with earth, getting grounded, getting very grounded. When you can get this energy in alignment, and when you can get yourself grounded, it makes it easier to work on everything else. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're ungrounded and disconnected, it's going to be very hard to work with the other chakras. And then it's going to kind of misalign everything. Why? If you don't feel safe, you're not going to be able to get calm. And if you're not calm, you're not going to be able to hear the signs. And if you don't hear the signs, right, because you're not listening, it's because you're distracted. And if you're too distracted about earthly issues, about how you're going to eat, how you're going to provide, and where you're going to sleep, you're not going to be able to get connected. You see what I'm saying? So I think that it's important for us to acknowledge, what are we focusing on? Spirit says, by energizing this chakra, you strengthen your right to have things, and you will be blessed with the loving and supportive relationships that you truly deserve. It's about you having the right to have, and it's about feeling like you deserve. When this chakra is strengthened and you're grounded, you form a relationship with yourself, and you are solid, right? There's a solidarity that happens, and it's about being, when you're solid, that means that when you don't have when you perceive that you don't have something, or when you perceive earthly matters as issues, with this being strengthened, you won't, it's like your perception will change, is what I'm trying to say. It's like you won't be as shaken by this month. Things are looking a little rough, right? Because what will happen is you will start to utilize the higher chakras, and then you will be able to manifest and not have to worry about not having enough, because you'll understand that it's a perception. You're perceiving that you don't have enough, but you're going to start to work with all the other tools you have to bring in what you need, right? Especially, what's good too is when your chakras are in alignment, you actually start to operate from a space of abundance, and you will never be in a position of not feeling like you don't have enough, right? It doesn't matter your background either. It doesn't matter if you live in a small house versus living in a huge mansion. You're never going to perceive yourself as being in a lack. Because you're going to feel stable, grounded, and safe where you are. You're going to have what you need, right? So let's talk about the Seven of Pentacles. Let's talk about how some of you guys don't feel like you have enough. Some of you guys are having earthly issues per the book's definition. Let's talk about that and why you feel that way, and what needs to change in order for you not to feel that way, right? So, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse is um, basically lack of growth and setback. It's also impatience, and it's also a lack of reward. Okay, could be money issues too, of course. Like I stated, um, slowness when it comes to money, losses, um, little financial compensation for the hard work you've done. And then when we're talking about love, you're not getting any results in love. It's talking about not being forceful when it comes to love. when we talk about career, it's no results in your work and your efforts, and the career is just stagnant. So some of you guys feel like there's a lack of love, there's no results from all the hard work you've put in. You feel like you've wasted your energy. This is about wasted energy. This could be about procrastination. This could be about a lack of effort because you're not inspired. Why? Because you're too ungrounded to be connected to the higher chakra, the crown, to be inspired to do, to make the changes necessary. It messes up everything, essentially. So we want to get this chakra and we want to balance it out. And spirit says you could work, you could walk, you could dance. It's about moving your body, your physical body, and working with earth because that's what it's tied to. Work with earth. When you need to work on your throat, and I'm not saying don't work on all of these. I'm just saying that this could be why you feel so scattered, right? Work with earth, touch the earth, walk on the earth. Hi, Shatina, right? Plant stuff, sit next to a tree. That will help. But like I said, there's different modalities. You can use crystals, you can use sounds, you can use colors, you can use that dancing, moving your body, etc. But I want you to understand that if you've had setbacks, if you've had losses, if you've had a lack of a reward, okay, if you've been waiting and you're starting to feel impatient, what you need to do to change that energy. Now, I didn't show you guys this just breathe energy. I'm going to talk about that last. Just breathe, like because we're always talking about relaxing. Spirit is saying that there's something unrealistic that you need to address first, and unrealistic is tied to even your own self-deception about your life, about what you can have, about what you deserve. And it could also be that you're looking at things from an unrealistic standpoint. It says your expectations in the future are unrealistic and needs revision. Perhaps your vision is big and may require a plan and more careful thought. And then it says you can be setting yourself up for failure if you don't set realistic financial goals. Um, so that's one thing. And based on the general definition is that, maybe you don't finish what you start. And that could be why your expectations are unrealistic. Or maybe you're procrastinating. And that could be why your um efforts are futile, right? Maybe there's a lack of effort. Maybe there's a lack of growth because you're not putting in the work. So I want to tell you right now, Spirit is saying you need to put in the work. And this is on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally. When you really want something, when you really want to complete a task or have a goal, it requires hard work. Relationships require hard work. Working on self requires hard work. Being able to provide for your family requires work. Um, and to get to that 10 of Pentacles energy of setting yourself up, that 10th house energy for longevity, it takes hard work. A lot of people that are sitting pretty, a lot of people that are born into trust fund babies or born into wealthy families is because the people before them put in the work. So this is your opportunity to put in that work so that you can secure the future for maybe not yourself, but maybe for your children or your children's children, right? Even for yourself, because you have to benefit from the hard work. But I just want you to understand that if you feel like, damn, I've been experienced lack and I grew up in lack. My family was poor. My grandma was poor. My grandpa was poor. I'm poor. Well, you have an opportunity to change that pattern. And that's just more on a broader scale. But like on an individual scale, how do you gain your independence? Well, if you want to be independent and you feel like you've been just running this rat race of working, or not finding anything that's stable, or you just not having enough, then you're going to have to make some changes and you're going to have to set realistic expectations so that you can see those changes. You're going to have to put in the effort, you're going to have to put in the work, you're going to have to be patient. right? But I talked about issues and setbacks and losses as well, because this is also talking about that. And this could be love, this could also be in what you do as a career. And Spirit is wanting you to understand that first thing you need to do is figure out what you want. Okay, what do you want to see, to happen? What do you want? So Spirit is saying lost lands. It says souls, memories, and gifts. You've done this before. Yeah, you've done this before. There's a repetitive pattern. This is so interesting. This card, I like this card actually. Lost lands. So this is alluding to the fact that have done this before. You've either made it through worse situations, or this is you keep doing the same thing over and over. It's one of that. It's one of them, right? It says the world is far more ancient than our documented history suggests, and as souls, many of us have experienced ancient eras on this planet that were much more advanced than ours today. As we begin to remember these times, the rememberings and gifts can come flooding back. At this stage in Earth's timeline, we need the wisdom of the ancients to survive as a species. You're being called to connect with the lost wisdom of your own soul. If you feel guided to make a change in your life, and that's what we're talking about, to step into a new career path, a birth, a creation, or bring an ideal to life, but feel unprepared, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, unpreparedness, Spirit is asking you to consider that you've done this before. Perhaps your soul has wisdom beyond what your lifespan can imagine. Perhaps the intuitive hits and ideas you're receiving are divinely guided, right? The signs. Perhaps you've been preparing for this time. Some think that lost lands exist in the past, others believe they exist today in different dimensions. I believe these ancient lands also exist in the soul of those who experience them. If this card comes to you, perhaps the wisdom of the lost lands, such as Lemuria, Atlantis, and Avalon, exists within you. And through surrendering to the intelligence of your soul, you can unlock the seed of ancient lands so that we can all learn from our mistakes and usher in a new age. The activation is I unlock any forgotten wisdom and soul gifts from lifetimes past. You've done this before. Remember, I said this is about looking back, reflecting on past mistakes. Your soul is rememberizing. That's what I used to say. Rememberizing. Your soul is remembering lots and lots and lots of lessons and lots of cycles. And there is something within you that is wanting you to not only tap into that ancient wisdom, but and also to let go of a lot of those things that have programmed you to believe that you can't have certain things, that you can't experience certain things. Uh, you can have whatever you want, but you first have to you first have to figure out what's causing you to feel so insecure and ungrounded and unstable. What's causing you to focus so much on these issues? And Spirit wants you to start working with the other chakras so that you can get more connected to those soul memories, to higher consciousness, listening to the signs, paying attention to your dreams, and being still in your heart and being still in your mind so that you can receive the inspiration from your spirit guides and ancestors, because a lot of the mistakes, a lot of the things that you're going through is because of the ancestors, right? But and also to help out the ancestors, to help break the patterning so that you can finally be free from repeating these earthly lessons, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of souls, especially if you're a soul that comes from a different star seed, um, there's such deep imprinting, and there's different things that you have to learn from, and sometimes it takes time. And when I say time, as we perceive time as human, it can take years and thousands and millions of years. um, I'm going to throw out a word that maybe some of you know and maybe some of you don't know. um, there's a planet that we used to have in our solar system called Maldek, and that's how it's kind of pronounced in human tonology, tonation, I guess. Maldek. That was a planet that once existed. It was flourishing, but the inhabitants of that planet destroyed it. And a lot of the souls from that planet are here now on Earth, and they've been kind of going through their own lessons and having to go through difficult lessons and a lot of life cycles, and in order to be able to kind of ascend back into a physical three-dimensional body, or being able to have different experiences. Just like us, just like some of our souls, we go through different experiences, go through different hardships, because we are being taught through the experiences to break free of those things that make us want to behave a certain way, or make us think a certain way, make us do things a certain way, right? But I digress. I want you guys to understand that it goes deeper, 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 deeper than your mind, your mind can perceive, because again, we've been conditioned over lifetimes. It's not just this life. I know that this life is all you know, so that is what you're going to be focused on. But your past plays an important role. That's why we always talk about the childhood traumas. We talk about how you're raised, the family you were around, the people that you were surrounded around, because they do shape who you are, essentially, right? So, but what also shapes you is those past experiences, and there's certain things you bring from those past experiences into your present experience. And these things are what spirit is trying to get you to deprogram, things that make you feel like you can't do something. I can't do it. It's too much. It's too hard. Can't be patient. I can't wait. You know, but you can do it because you've done it before. You can pay those bills. You can keep a roof over your head because you've done it before. You can survive because you've done it before, right? You can be stable because you've done it before, and you can be independent because you've done it before. So this is what spirit wants you to realize, and how you get connected and feel whole in your body and your physical body is by working with the chakras and understanding what role they play, and understanding why they're tied to certain glands and how those glands are important. And everything is important, even at the very minute level, even on a very cellular level, even down to the mitochondria, DNA. Everything is important. But I'm not going to go that deep. I just want you to know on the surface level that all these things that you're focused on, all these things that you perceive as issues or mistakes or problems, are just opportunities for growth. Being a spiritual being in a human body is not easy, but there's a lot of gifts that come with that, right? Because you're not just a physical body, you're an entity that can feel, right? That can taste, that can smell, that can hear. You can dream, you can imagine, you can create. Do you understand how beautiful and how priceless and precious that is, to be able to create, to give birth to a child? You can make things with your hands, you can imagine things up, you can innovate. It's important for you to look at life from a perspective of abundance, like so much opportunities for you to be able to express and to enjoy and to have fun. But if you're so focused on everything else that make you unhappy and sad, you're never going to be able to experience life to the fullest. And this is what spirit wants you to do. They want you to experience life to the fullest, beloveds. So the next energy that I'm going to talk about is the Four of Pentacles. And remember, Pentacles, physical body. How do you feel in your physical body? Does your physical body ache? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel tired? Do you feel out of balance? Reflect and do a body scan. Sit with yourself. Sit in a little space. Stop distracting yourself with TV and social fucking media. Because I know that a lot of us are addicted to that shit. Going on Instagram, going on Facebook. Take some time off from all of that and really focus on your body. What does your body need, and what is it telling you? Because your body speaks to you. You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, my back. Your body's communicating with you. Says, I'm in disease. Why is it in dis-ease? Because either you're putting too much strain on the body or you're not giving the body the nutrients it needs. It's not getting enough rest. Your body talks to you, right? Scan your body, look around you and say, oh, I have this and I have that. Be grateful for that. Be grateful that you have things. And then I want you to reflect on the past. And I want you to reflect on the things that you've done before. Struggling, thinking, damn, I don't know how I'm going to get the money to pay this. Think about how you've done it before. Think about how you were able to come up with it and how you were able to manage and you were able to, you know, thrive and survive and overcome, right? Get it done. But I also want you to think about the unrealistic thoughts and expectations you have. And I want you to think about what kind of changes you can make so that you can get a goal accomplished. And, you know, in the other live I did the other day, I talked about doing things one at a time. This was 2 days ago, I believe. And it was about taking this day by day, step by step, doing one thing, getting one task done, and doing the next task, and doing the next task. Sticking to a routine and making sure it's a healthy routine and finishing what you've started, doing what you said you're going to do. Set a goal and really work towards it and understand that it will take time, but if you put in the work, you will have the results you deserve. So the Four of Pentacles is the next energy, and it's in reverse as well. And again, it is tied to Earth energy. Keywords is withdrawal, blocks, control, and release. It says sometimes past sorrows can cause you to withdraw both from your emotions and from other people as a way of preventing further pain. However, this closing up or shutting down prevents a free flow of energy from and to you. And I read this card yesterday, I believe, maybe for Patreon, because I remember that this is like a little bit of deja vu, but maybe for Patreon because I didn't do a reading yesterday. Um, from or to you, interfering with the ability of the universe to fulfill your desire. That's important. It says, however, this closing or shutting down because you feel so unsafe, so insecure, so scattered, you feel you're just through. It says that it could be interfering with the universe's ability to fulfill your desires. Why? This is when this card appears, it suggests that you have blocked or closed off your energy field in some way. And I'm not talking about just one, I'm talking about the base, I'm talking about the solar, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. One or all of the above. Okay, one of these, some of these are all of the above, right? How does spirit communicate? This is about raising your vibration. This is what this deck says, right? Raising your vibration. And you can use these crystals to do it, but you can also use the basic tools that you possess, right? Your body, your mind, your thoughts, what you speak into existence. So if you don't open up, right, because it is in reverse, you essentially are blocking yourself off to the abundance of the universe. Because why? You don't trust the universe. You don't have faith, right? Because you're so focused on earthly issues. So it says when this card appears, it suggests that you have been blocked or closed off your energy field in some way. Have you let sadness or fear prevent you from moving forward into more satisfying, loving relationships or a more satisfying, loving, happy life? It says release this blocking energy by working with affirmations, prayers, and your spirit guides and crystals and other modalities. The more you open up your energy field, the sooner you will receive what you desire. Also, watch out for the need to control, right? Because that is an issue. Controlling how things happen, when they happen. Sometimes you don't have control, and you have to be okay with that. It says for relationships or for you to thrive, the energy must be free flowing. Everyone must have the right to self expression. When you open yourself up, you allow your relationship to grow and evolve, or you allow yourself, the relationship with yourself, to grow. You're allowing yourself to grow. Just like you plant a seed and the seed grows, she has been planted and she is growing, right? That's what's happening to her. She's experiencing growth. And I talked about this well, I wrote a poem, okay, called Birthing Pains. And I feel like and I think I talked about this in my soul therapy, birthing pains, but I have to go back and look. But I think that what's happening to us is we're being reborn again and again and again, and we go through the birthing pains of the process of growth, right? When you're birthing something new, the growth process is hard and it hurts and it's painful sometimes and it's uncomfortable, right? It doesn't have to be necessarily painful, but it could be very uncomfortable. But Spirit is saying that relinquish your need to control everything and be open to receiving. But by being open to the flow, it's going to require you to let go, to release the need to control, to release fear, to release um, those blocks. So it says if you have an idea in mind, this is giving you the green light that there's a need for it. Okay, consider careers in retail, e-commerce, whether it's goods or services, save time and energy, add passive income by taking your business online. So Spirit is saying taking your business online or whatever you have in your mind, an idea, you're getting the green light. And then we have the past at the bottom of the deck. So Spirit is giving you the green light when it comes to some sort of idea. Spirit is trying to open you up to something. It has something to do with what you've learned from your past. It has something to do with the past. Seven of Pentacles, and it says something from your past is coming back. Perhaps an old job or an unfinished project. So unfinished business and love, work, or career. The astrology is in alignment. We're pre-eclipse season, you guys. We're about to enter eclipse seasons. November is going to be a time for action. I feel like October is more a time for reflection. Just, because we do have a lot of planets about to go direct. The 18th is important. What's today? Okay, the 15th is important, but I'll tell you later why the 15th is important. I just don't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to see what the book says about the Seven of Pentacles. It says awaiting results, patience, assessment, outcome, and alternatives. You've put much energy into creating and attracting the relationships or the life you desire and are eager to see positive results. Patience is needed. However, reshaping attitudes and beliefs takes time. Refining yourself that you'll attract just the right person or just the right circumstance or experience is a process. If you find yourself becoming frustrated at the apparent lack of visible change, step back and focus on something other than your relationships or your earthly issues, physical body issues, issues of substance, issues of what you value, okay? Security, shelter. Take a step back from all of that. And it says, when you're feeling more detached, you'll be in a better position to notice any improvements. Because if you're so distracted about the problems, you're not going to be able to see the solutions, honey. And it says, if you've invested enough time, then take a moment to evaluate your progress. Is there opportunities for growth in a situation? Somebody's realizing that there wasn't an opportunity for growth or something was stunting their growth, and someone is wanting to become independent of that, whatever is stunting their growth. So unrealistic expectations in relationships, unrealistic expectation, waiting and waiting and waiting, awaiting results, maybe waiting on something that's never going to happen. Maybe it requires action and not waiting. Unrealistic expectations when it comes to finishing a task or some sort of goal, putting in the work. It says if you're not self-employed, it may be time to have an entrepreneur mindset. It says your financial freedom will come by being able to stand alone, and you can do it. Right? And it says, are your efforts bearing fruit? Are you seeing the desired changes in your interactions with others, or just the desired changes that you want in general for your life? And it's saying, if yes, excellent, carry on. If not, it may be time to shift your approach. Look for alternative strategies to affect the change you desire. What works with one person may not work with another. When working on yourself, be sure that you're being true to who you are and not simply following society's formula for relationships and for what you perceive as um, where you need to be, right? Societies are social constructs, what society, what your family thinks you should be or what you should be doing, but finding your own formula that works for you. Something from the past. It says look to the past to understand the future. There's a lesson to be learned, an experience, or an old skill. You could be earning or receiving money from something you did in the past. There's unfinished business. There's an unfinished project. There's something you need to finish that you started, or there is a something from the past coming back up to teach you how to open up more, to teach you how to be more open to the flow. It is another spiritual lesson. We are always going to be tasked with learning lessons. We're also going to be tasked to stay calm, to pay attention to the sign and listen to what you're being guided to do, and staying connected to source creator consciousness, right? Using the earth, using all the tools you have, the elements, the earth, the physical earth, your physical body, right? Your body has so many tools, right? And external tools too, right? What comes from the earth? Crystals come from the earth. That is a beautiful, wonderful way to work with earth energy. That's why crystals are very powerful, right? And then working with the other elements such as water, fire, and air. All of this is important. I need you to know that you can do this, whatever it is that you're aspiring to have, whether it be a healthy relationship or successful business or just a happy life. You can do it. You can have it. You deserve it. Nothing's stopping you but yourself. And Spirit is asking you to just breathe. That's going to be the final message for today, honeys. I hope this was inspiring, helpful. So, Spirit says, just breathe. This is going to be the final message for today's collective message. It says, step back, reconnect, rest, and recharge. So much time and effort can be expended in maintaining current relationships or just maintaining your life in general or creating new relationships or new opportunities, making changes. And it's easy to forget to just stop and breathe once in a while. This life is not just about connecting with other people. The most important connection you have are with the divine and your higher self. This is a good time to take a break from your personal relationships, your life, your problems, and reconnect with your spiritual self. And that is the higher chakras. And it says, um, set aside a few minutes every day to sit quietly and just be. And it says, in addition to caring for your spiritual self, look after your physical body. Set that. So important that your body is so important. It is what houses your spirit, your soul, your vessel, your physical vessel here on earth should be treated with utmost respect, reverence, and devotion, right? Because you live in this body, you're gonna die in this body, baby. This body needs to be revered and put on a pedestal. Look at yourself in admiration and say thank you, body, for everything that you have done. Great rising, Karen. And it says, get plenty of sleep, eat healthy foods, and exercise. Treat yourself to a movie or take a walk. This is so interesting how everything is always in alignment. Or take a walk in nature. Step away from any cares about matters of the heart. Step away from any worries about earthly issues like subsistence and shelter and things, bills and worries about how you're going to get by and survival. Step away from all of that and just breathe. By taking time for yourself, you'll recharge your emotional batteries and you'll have more energy to invest in either your relationships or what you got going on in career, work, just anything that you're really just trying to change in your life. So, those are your messages. I love you guys so very much. I hope these messages were helpful. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys in the next live. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Um, you are abundant, and always remind yourself, I'm so sorry that I didn't give you the affirmation. I'm going to just leave you with the affirmation for just breathe. I think y'all need to hear it. Um, I have to make one up. That's interesting. I could have sworn I saw affirmations in this book because I remember saying to myself, "That's weird." I didn't even. Okay, that's what um the affirmations are with the uh trump cards or major arcanas. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the book, and I did, and I saw listen, and and I guess this is what spirit wants you to know, to listen. And the affirmation for listen, which is the high priestess, is I honor myself by being present and truly listening to the messages I hear. How appropriate. I honor myself by being present and truly listening to the messages I hear. And this includes this message today. This includes the messages from your body, messages from spirit, signs from spirit. Spirit said today that it's time for you to listen. Get calm, listen to the signs, listen to the signs, beloveds, and get connected with the heart chakra. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.